Today we're going to start because I've got a whole bunch of reasons to start looking at supplement. One, I think they're really important to keep our kids on the track for a long period of time. There's too many things to choose from. I hope to be able to simplify that at some point. They can be powerful, they can be anemic, they can do a whole bunch of things for us. If we use them incorrectly, they can. I look at supplements kind of as the frontier land and the Wild West, because anything goes out there. First step is to look look at what the regulatory process is for these things. And how many of you think that there's a regulatory process that looks over the shoulder of these companies that put out the supplements, and that makes sure that you and I are protected, and that what's in the bottle is exactly what's in the bottle? There's no regulatory process, period. Supplements are in a ballpark all of their own. At the end, maybe we can talk about the FDA. I think I'll talk about the FDA in a completely separate segment. But the FDA has nothing to do with supplements. And that's true for our dog and cat and horse supplements. It's true for what you and I take for fiber supplements, or this vitamin or that supplement or whatsoever. There's no regulation. There's absolutely no law that says that the label has to match the ingredients. That's kind of scary. And because of that, my clinical experience has been like a roller coaster with these supplements. And I can use omegas as a primary example. Once upon a time, decades and decades and decades ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when I was in veterinary school, I was taught that the dogs, the canine manufactures all of the essential fatty acids that it needs, period. Does not need to be supplemented. I spent my first 5 to 7 years, maybe 10, in veterinary practice believing that dogs manufactured all of their essential fatty acids. That would be docosahexaenoic, linoleic, and isosapentoic acid. Guess what? They don't. So 10 years in the practice, plus or minus 5, the dermatology people came out and said, hey, dogs need these things. So we bought these supplements and we handed them to our patients, and it was like a miracle, a bloody miracle. It was unbelievable. Most of them were terriers at that time. I had these West Highland White Terriers, 3 or 4 of them, and they were a greasy, stinky, messy, infected, seborrheic little white thing that ran around the house. I hate to be blunt, but that's the way they were. They had 12 antibiotics. I'm exaggerating. They were on steroids because we had no better anti-inflammatory. The owners were bathing them 3 times a week, maybe more, and they were just treading water, just holding on, not getting better, not getting worse, but kind of surviving. We handed them these omega fatty acids, and all of a sudden, they came back for a recheck in 3 or 4 weeks, and they were better. And we started reducing their drugs, and they got back with less medication. Some got off most all their medication. It was a bloody miracle. Hey, I need your help. If you're benefiting from this video and you like the content, please smash the like button below, because then I'll get good feedback from you to keep giving you what you need and want, and others are going to benefit from this video as well. Thanks so much. And I still remember the first package, and it was the manufacturer's long gone. They don't make it anymore whatsoever. I don't remember what the ingredients were, but they were fatty acids with docosahexaenoic and isosapentoic as the primary type thing in there, which are the omega-3s, by the way. So what was happening was that, and it was a nifty little bottle. It was kind of like this big, and a little squeezy thing, and it filled a little chamber at the top, and you could put 1 tablespoon with this, and a little dose. It was just the niftiest little thing on earth. And we had that for about 5 years. And 2 things happened during that 5 years. Competition, new company, XYZ company, next company, and that company got bought up by somebody, disappeared whatsoever. I have no idea. It was a great product. Like a lot of great products, they go by the wayside. Couldn't get that anymore. Got a product next, got product next, got product next. Whatever reason that I didn't really understand probably until about 10 years ago, maybe 20 years later, but instead of handing all these dogs the fatty acids and they all got better and they all got better, they all got better, all of a sudden they all didn't get better. Only some of them got better. And over the next couple decades, you'd give them to patients, they did really well. You'd give them to other patients, they didn't do that well. And it was kind of like a roller coaster until about 5 or 7 years ago. Research came out that by one of the companies, actually, the company is actually owned by a group of board-certified veterinary nutritionists. All kinds of board certifications happened during this last 20 years. But board-certified veterinary nutritionists studied these omegas, and they found out two things. One, there was variable absorption from the canine intestinal tract, and they believed they identified a substance that would interfere with the absorption in the canine intestinal tract that was apparently coming from salmon for sure and probably cod, the quote, what I call big fishes. And those were kind of the go-to products. Salmon was everybody thought salmon oil was wonderful, and salmon was the first thing they identified that product in. So if I extrapolate my thinking backwards, what was happening was there were varying sources, I don't know what they were, of these products over the course of the last 20 years. Some of them were higher quality, some of them were lower quality. You can see the criteria that we're going to go through in a few minutes on how to assess them. Was I assessing that back there then? No, I was taking the most popular thing that, quote, the dermatology people were using. I figured they were a good source of things, and I was using those.